Welcome to our ADHD Relationship channel. We are your evidence-based guide to navigating love, friendship, and family life, all through the lens of ADHD. Today, we are tackling a really big one, the neurotypical partner's burnout, and why you might feel more like a parent in your ADHD relationship. If you're the neurotypical partner in a relationship with someone who has ADHD, that question might really hit close to home. It can be a lonely feeling, but I promise you, you are not alone. And that feeling, well, it has a name, it has a cause, and most importantly, it has a solution. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through the research to really understand this dynamic. We're going to talk about the emotional toll it takes, and then we'll get into some practical, actionable strategies to help you build a much healthier partnership. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Where does this parent-child feeling even come from? It's really important to know that this isn't just in your head. It is a well-documented pattern, and it's rooted in some very real neurobiological differences in the relationship. Yup, researchers actually have a name for it, parent-child dynamics, or PCD. It's what happens when the neurotypical partner ends up taking on a huge share of the tasks that rely on executive functions. Things like planning, organizing, remembering all the little details. So think about it like this. On one side, you've got ADHD, which can create challenges with things like time perception, that's the classic time blindness, or memory lapses, which lead to forgotten appointments. And on the other side, the neurotypical partner naturally steps into, well, overfunction. You become the timekeeper, the reminder service, the planner, just to keep life running smoothly. And if this is resonating with you, just know that you are in the vast majority. The data on this is pretty staggering. A major study found that 58%, that's nearly 6 out of 10 neurotypical partners report feeling this way. It is an incredibly common experience. And this isn't just about picking up a little extra slack. It's often driven by a really deep-seated fear of what might happen if you don't step in. You might take over the bills to avoid late fees, or manage the whole family schedule just to prevent conflict, especially if your partner has what's called rejection-sensitive dysphoria, which is a really intense emotional response to feeling rejected. It all comes from a desire to maintain stability. Right. And this manager role, it doesn't just appear overnight. Research shows it kind of evolves in these predictable stages. It usually starts with small, simple accommodations, but over time, that grows into increased responsibility. And that can lead to hypervigilance, where you're constantly scanning for what might go wrong. And in some cases, it becomes a complete takeover of all the household's executive functions. And as you can imagine, this gradual takeover comes at a huge emotional and psychological cost. The burnout that neurotypical partners feel is so real, and it is absolutely backed up by the data. ADHD spouse burnout isn't just about feeling tired. It's a documented syndrome, and it really has 3 core parts. First, there's this profound physical and emotional exhaustion from basically carrying the mental load for 2 people. Second, that constant hypervigilance we mentioned, that leads to chronic anxiety. And third, a really deep resentment can start to build from that feeling of an unequal partnership. And the impact on mental health can be staggering. One really comprehensive study of female neurotypical partners found that 59%, again, almost 6 out of 10, showed symptoms of depression, ranging from mild to severe. That rate is significantly higher than what we see in the general population. And of course, all of this strain shows up in the relationship itself. Research consistently shows that couples who are affected by ADHD report twice the level of dissatisfaction as neurotypical couples. That's double, and that really elevates the risk for serious relationship challenges down the road. This burnout also hits intimacy, and it hits it hard. Think about it. When you feel like someone's parent, it is incredibly difficult to also feel like their romantic partner. This quote from a study really highlights how that parent-child dynamic can just completely erode the foundations of a romantic and sexual connection. So, what on earth do we do about this? It is so easy to get stuck in that cycle of blame and resentment, but the research points us toward action. And the solution really starts with setting effective, non-shaming boundaries. A great framework supported by research for neurodiverse couples is known as the 4 C's. For a boundary to actually work, it first has to be clear, no room for misinterpretation. Second, it has to be applied consistently. And just as important, it needs to be delivered in a way that is both calm and compassionate, because that's what minimizes shame and defensiveness. So what does this look like in real life? It means having direct conversations about who does what based on actual strengths, not just old habits. It also means setting up some communication rules like using I feel statements instead of you always. And maybe most importantly, it means setting firm boundaries around your own self-care. We're talking non-negotiable personal time to recharge so you don't lose yourself. Okay, this is where we get to the core solution, and it's a real game changer. It's all about shifting that manager role off of a person and onto a system. The most effective strategies aren't about the neurotypical partner just becoming a better manager, but about getting rid of that role entirely by externalizing it. This is the fundamental shift. You're moving away from a model where one person has to be the human reminder app, which is just exhausting and always leads to resentment, and you're moving toward a model where external tools create a reliable support structure for both of you. The system becomes the manager, not a person. And this external brain, as some people call it, can be built with tools that are super accessible. Shared digital calendars with multiple alerts are an amazing start. There are task management apps specifically designed for ADHD brains that can be a total game changer. Automating your finances, using visual cues like whiteboards, even using AI assistants, they can all become part of this shared system. And for many couples, getting professional support is a critical piece of the puzzle. ADHD-focused couples therapy can give you communication skills that are tailored to your specific dynamic. Individual coaching can help the ADHD partner build new skills. And of course, collaborating with medical professionals on things like medication can also significantly improve day-to-day functioning. So, the big takeaway from all this research is that it is absolutely possible to break the cycle. The goal isn't to fix your partner, it's to build a whole new structure for your relationship. The focus is creating a true partnership, one that acknowledges the reality of ADHD while honoring the needs of both people. So, we want to leave you with a question to think about. What is one small, manageable system that you and your partner could create together, starting this week? Seriously, it could be as simple as a shared grocery list app or a 5-minute calendar sync every Sunday evening. Just start small and build from there. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so that you know when new videos on my ADHD relationship are released. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll speak very soon. Bye now.